Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to this week's Card A Cuppa. So you can see in front of me the kit that we took this morning to the Card A Cuppa event over at Home Grange, and I will share the kit and the cards that I made and took with me, and then I'm going to make a fourth card. If you just bear with me for one moment, I'm just checking that this is all working. Hope to goodness that it is. Let's see. Ah, yes, it looks like it is, which is good news. There we go. Oops. Let's see if I can do this. Is it going to work? Oh, it doesn't want to do what I want it to do, but hey, there we go. Right, that's it. So, this is the kit that went to people who purchased it in advance, and I took a couple spare with me today, but there was nobody extra came along, but that's okay. There were still 11 of us, or 12 of us actually, if you include me, so it's getting to be quite a good group. So this was it, and I designed it around the Irresistible Blooms suite. Now this is not one that you will find in the catalogue. It is an online exclusive, so I warn you, if you do want to take a look at it, then you will find it in my online store under the online exclusives tab. But I've got a little a sheet that I've printed off. I've made my own little sheet, and I will talk you through it. But in the meantime, let me talk you through the kit. So, as always, there's an envelope, because you cannot send a card without an envelope. We have a petal pink card base. So that's an A4 sheet cut in half, so the other half of the card, the sheet would be here. So that's been cut at 14.85. We have a piece of basic white that will fit inside the card. So you can stamp or do whatever it is you would like to do. Put that on the inside. We have a panel of Daffodil Delight, which initially is designed to go directly on the card front, but you know me, some of you may not. The first couple I do sort of fairly straightforward, and then thereafter I kind of go a little bit off-piste. There's another panel of basic white that will sit on top of the Daffodil Delight. Then we have two strips of the Hello Irresistible paper. Now it's a pack of 6x6 paper, and it actually has all sorts of colours in it. This is the pack of paper that we knew from this that there was actually some colours coming back. So the pack is designed to go with Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon, which was a returning colour. It's back now because everything went live on the 4th of May. Petal Pink, which is why I've used Petal Pink for the card base. Pretty Peacock, which was another returning colour, and Soft Seafoam. So those are the colours that are designed to go with it. So that was that. And then there is also a circle of basic white. Now the circle was punched out using the 2 3/8 circle punch. Yes, there are circle punches back. This again is another online exclusive. So again, you will find that if you go to oakvillcrafts.stampin'.net, then you will find, and click on the online exclusives, and you will find that. In fact, there are two circle punches there. There's this and I want to say the 1 3/4, which I don't have. It's on my list. Punches are a godsend, especially when you're doing classes and things like that, or you're making lots of things of the same thing, then they're kind of a must-have. So the Irresistible Blooms set, so there is a stamp set, which looks like this. So the stamps that we used today were these two flowers, the splots, for want of a better description, and then people had a choice of different sentiments. So they're red rubber, as you can see. And then the dies that you can get, so you can buy everything individually, or you can buy stamps and dies as a bundle, or there's an actual suite collection where you can buy the paper, the dies, or the paper, the bundle, and also some really sweet, they're called loose frosted dots, which I didn't take with me today because they're flat backed and it requires people to glue them on, which is for some people that's not as easier said than done. So these are the dies. So we have a strip. We were talking about this morning, and that's paper. It kind of reminds me of the beaded curtains that people used to have in like the 60s and 70s. So that's that one. There is another as a circle one, which again has the dots on. So this is like good for making wreaths or frames or whatever you want to, because the inside and the outside will cut the whole. Oh, apparently my life has ended and I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't think it has. I'm hoping it hasn't. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just because my... how weird. Goodness only knows. Let's see. Let's try again. Just want to make sure. Oh, no, I think it's just Facebook playing silly so-and-sos with me. Right, okay. I'm going to carry on in the vague hope that it is recording. For my phone it says it is, but for my laptop it says it isn't, so who knows which is right. Facebook has its moments, and sadly it's not a good time for it to start messing around. So there's those two dies. Then there are some of these filigree leaves, and then the rest of the dies are designed to cut out the shapes. Oops. So this one here will cut out that stamp. This one in the middle will cut out that. And then you've got a smaller flower, the larger flower. And then this one is designed to cut out this little tiny stamp here. So as I said, you can buy the stamps and the dies individually, buy them as a bundle. So you can buy them individually, so that's the bundle, so you can buy them individually, the bundle, or you can buy them as a suite, which includes the paper and also includes the loose frosted dots. So the dots, you get 360 of these things, and they look like this. They're very pretty. And there's various sizes, so we've got petal pink, actually no, I think it's flirty flamingo, pretty peacock, and daffodil delight. But as you can see, hopefully you can see, they have a flat back. So you will need to actually glue these on. So they're not self-adhesive. But as I said, there's a variety of different sizes in there, and there's 360 in total. So I'm assuming it's 120 of each colour. I am not going to sit there and count them, sorry. But anyway, so those are the dots. And I'm guessing you really kind of want to see the cards that are made. So this was the first one. So as I always describe it, it's my let's throw everything. Oh, thanks Trisha for letting me know. It was a momentary freeze and then back to normal. That's reassuring, so that's good. So this was my throw everything at it. So I've got my base card. I've stamped a flower in Calypso Coral. Put that on the inside. I used the dots. So I used this particular one here. Oops, everything's falling over. This particular one here to do the dots. I didn't go all over because I knew I was going to cover one portion with the strips of paper. So I just simply did one edge, so I just did the right hand edge. And then before I stamped the hello, I just simply placed these 2 strips where I wanted them so that I knew how much space I had to stamp in. I could have squeezed them all the way across, and then I probably could have put the hooray it's your day in, but I like the hello, so I left them with gaps here. And so I stamped the hello, and then once I was happy with it, then I glued the paper on. Because if I'd made a boo-boo and the paper was already glued on, then that's kind of it. There are things you can do, like stamp that onto some more cardstock and then fussy cut it out and stick it over the top. Or if you haven't actually glued these on, then you could just turn it over and start again. And then the flower, again, is in Calypso Coral. So it's just stamped onto the circle and then added to the card front. So these, the Daffodil Delight and the basic white, are just simply glued on, and this medallion in the middle with the flower, that's got dimensionals underneath. And of course I had to do the envelope as well, so I've got the same flower on the envelope. So that was the first card. My second card, I decided I wasn't going to use all the pieces, so I did something slightly different. So I've still got my Petal Pink base card. I stamped using Daffodil Delight ink the smaller flower onto here, onto the Daffodil Delight, to give a tone on tone effect. Now, I didn't stamp off. If I'd stamped off and then stamped, it would have given a much lighter effect. So if you've never used this technique before, play around with it and see what you like best. What you could do is you could actually stamp a full one and then use the same stamp again without re-inking to get a lighter colour. The only thing I would warn you about is that if you are stamping it in with the first lot of ink and you're going off the side, it does mean that when you come to stamp the second image, you will have one half that has some ink already gone and the other half will be still the full ink. So just be warned. If you're going to do it, then I would suggest you do a full in the middle and then the halves going off afterwards. So that was that. I turned the paper over and used the reverse side. So this is the reverse side of the flowers. So it's this one. Now, not everyone would have had the same colouring because the paper, and I'm not sure that I even have any more of this paper left, kind of has a ombre come brushed effect on it. Let's see if I can find one. No, but I can use this as an example. So as you can see, there's the yellow, and then you've got the the Pretty Peacock here. So this is very much the same. So we've got Petal Pink and we've got Daffodil Delight here. So that's how it is, and that just goes across the paper in a different shading all the way across. Again, this time I used the splots on the circle and then stamped the thank you in Calypso Coral. So the paper was just glued on, the Daffodil Delight was just glued on, this is on with dimensionals, and then I used the other piece of paper. Now I had the benefit of my trimmer when I was here making these. I forgot to take it with me this morning, but the other option is to simply, because this is loose, simply glue it on, trim it off, and then you can glue it in. So that was the second one. Third one, again, was a bit of a moot point because, as I said, I forgot to take the trimmer with me. So it's a bit different. I thought I would go completely off piece with this one. So to make this one, so this is my basic white panel. So it's this smaller piece here. And I've simply just taken off 0.5 centimetre off the long side. And then I stamped using my Petal Pink and my Calypso Coral all over. And then just chopped it into 3. You don't have to, you can chop it so that you've got roughly equal. I think these two are the same and that one's just like slightly smaller. Or you can go mad with the thin, thicker and whatever. It's really up to you. You can play around with it. And in fact, I may actually do that and repeat this. And then this circle, so this is my white circle. And I simply, she says, glued I used my grid paper, glued that across the middle and trimmed off, and then I used the other piece and just used the lighter parts, and again sort of glued on, trimmed off, and then this piece will go on here and glued on and trimmed off. So that's how I achieved that. So this was actually the 2 strips that were originally designed to go on the front of the card. They're still on the front of the card, but just in a completely different format. Hey. And then the inside, I've got my Petal Pink dots and my Calypso Coral flower. And then what did I do on the envelope? Oh, on the envelope I did exactly the same. So I've got the dots and I've got the flower. So that was the 3rd card. So I guess I have got to figure out what I'm going to do now. Do I keep it as a portrait card or do I go mad and do it as a landscape card? I think I might go landscape. And let's see, trying to think what to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this card so that you can actually see how it works. But I'm going to put it as a landscape card, and I'm going to cut my card that way. No, I will cut it that way, thinking about it. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. So I know that my width, top and bottom, is fine. So it's just along the long side that I need to cut off 0.5 centimetre. Let's double check what I measured this to be. Should be 14.4, which is, so if I take off half, that will make it 13.9, and then I need to divide 13.9 by 3, which is easier said than done. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do 5, 4. So they're going to be different widths. Why not? Right, that's 9. And then, no, maybe 5.5. Actually thinking about it. I don't want to do that just yet. I can hear people saying, no, you need to stamp first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp first. So on this one, I used Petal Pink, and then I used the Calypso Coral. And on the other one, wherever it's got to, it's here somewhere, I used the Daffodil. And you can use both. There's nothing to stop you. So this one was the Daffodil, like so. But I do quite like the Petal Pink. I think it's a very subtle effect. So I've got my Petal Pink ink. I've got my splots and dots, and you just simply want to stamp all over. Make a point of turning your stamp around so that you don't end up with the same pattern in the same format going all the way across. You kind of wanted it to be a bit more random than that. And if you end up going over an area that's already gone over, don't worry about it. Should need to go a bit quicker on this. Let's see, just put a random bit here. There we go. So that's that. then I want to stamp the flower. Now I used the smaller one before, so that's what I'm going to do again. So I've got my Calypso Coral. And again, you want to be random with your flowers. So if I stamp here, like that, now I could use the same stamp again with the lighter colour because I've already stamped off, and you can see the effect it has. So if I come off here like that, if I turn it over, you can probably see that there is still some darker ink here, and that portion there is lighter. So if I wanted to use it again, I would have to make sure that I only used the portion that had the lighter amount on. So that was that. Let's see, I'm gonna now use the whole one there, so I'm okay to use the half one there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-ink, but I don't want a full one there, so I'm just going to stamp off onto my grid paper here and then stamp it, because then I know I've only got the lighter portion. Hi Esther, hope you're good. So that was that piece. So as I said, I'm going to cut it. And you can see that I've already taken off that ½ centimetre. So I'm going to cut it into 3. And I'm not going to, I know some of you may think, not like it, but I am not going to worry about that they have to be in equal strips. So that one's 5½ centimetres. And then if I do this one as 4, if we've got left, we've got 8. So if I do that one as 4½, and then that one will be 3½. The only thing you have to do is remember which order they go in. It'd be a bit of a disaster if you put them back in the wrong order. I mean, it'll look a bit odd. So then we're going to glue those to there. I've got a bit of a rough edge there. If you've got one of those glue erasers, they're really good for getting the rough edges off. You don't get your scissors out, they'll just take them off like that. Probably need to change my blade in my trimmer. Right, let's see which pot of glue, which has the most glue in it, so I'm not going to be running around trying to get one that works. We're going to glue these on. What was I saying about getting one that works? So I'll put the first one on. Then that's the second, and then that's the third. Let's put that one on. So I hope you've all been having a good week. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. It's kind of crazy. Time is dashing by at the moment. Kind of got an empty house at the as well at the moment. Daughter's finally moved out into her house that's been, now it's all decorated and everything, but the problem is she's still left all her stuff here. So you can't really say she's moved out. She'll say she's moved out, but there's no way I'm going to go and get all her stuff sorted out for her. So I'm going to put that on there, like that. And then the question is what are we going to do with this? So I think I'm just going to put, we can do all sorts of things. We can put the splats in the background. We can even put a flower in the background and then stamp over it. Or let's think. I was going to say I quite like the idea of having the flower in the background, or we can just simply stamp the sentiment and then do some. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use the Hooray It's Your Day. And what do we want to use? Do we want to use Calypso Coral or Petal Pink? That is the $64 million question. Let's use, no, I'm going to use the Calypso Coral for the sentiment. Because that's bigger, it's bold, it's a bold colour compared to the others. So let's try and stamp that in the middle. Hopefully I made that. That's okay. It doesn't really matter if it's slightly skew if, because at the end of the day this is a circle, so you can turn that around any which way you want to. So what I am now going to do is, what have we not used so far? Not used the large flower. No, I think it needs to be the smaller one. I'm going to use the Petal Pink for this. Just trying to, I put my Simply Chamois somewhere. So just taking it off on here. So, right, okay, so this one, this is the Petal Pink. So I'm going to stamp that like so. And then I'm going to use my Wink of Stella, which was here. What have I done with it? Excuse me 1 second whilst I'll have to go around rather than reach over. This is something that we were doing this morning. And I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to just pull. It's not going to work like great guns, but it will pull some of the colour into the flower. If I want to do it more, then what I would want to do is I want to squeeze some onto the lid. I can't, oh. Right, is this stopped again? Hopefully not. Can't believe this. I don't know why it's stopping. It's really weird. So hopefully I've gone and come back again. Don't know why I closed that. So I've squeezed some hopefully onto the lid, as you can see. And you don't need great copious amounts, but if you just pull it across, you can colour it in. I don't want to go too mad with this. You want a little bit of colour, but at the same time you don't want to be filling it completely. Someone asked me this morning, so, well, what about you wanting to use the thing again for a different colour? Well, it's actually very simple. You simply just use your grid paper or whatever you've got and rub it on that. So that's that bit. I need to do it again. So again, I'm going to stamp here. I think I'm going to stamp just that edge as well. And again, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella just to roughly colour in. If I had a really, really wet ink pad, and stamped, then I would be able to pull the colour in using the Wink of Stella, but this has dried really quickly. And it's also a very pale colour. Darker colour, it works a lot better on darker colours. You can pull them and into the image, and you want to make sure that you are pulling in and not out, because you want to be colouring in the image, not the surrounds. If I was to pull out, then I would end up with colours here, and that's not what we would want. So that's that. So that's going to go on here. So I've got some sparkly. I don't know if you can see that it's actually quite sparkly. It's pretty. That's going to go on there. I guess I should decorate my inside of the card. So I'm going to decorate the inside a bit like I've done here. So I want my speckled dots, and I'm going to do the envelope at the same time. You just need to remember, because you're doing a portrait card, you don't want to be necessarily putting the dots in a top corner. I'm just going to keep them to the bottom. Maybe a little bit along. And then similarly with the envelope. Obviously you want to leave enough space to be able to write. I mean, this sort of thing, it wouldn't detract from you writing in the middle there anyway. Similarly this. That's that. And then I think I'm going to go for the smaller flower. And it's Calypso Coral, so it's darker than the petal pink that I was using, so I'm not going to worry too much about actually cleaning. That's that. And that's that. Well, glad to hear it didn't stop for you, Esther. I really don't know what's going on here. It could be my laptop, or it just could be I wouldn't have thought it was the internet. Although we have had some problems recently because they're doing so much work around here, digging up places to put internet in for other people. But they don't seem to care about what they're knocking out. But hey. Right, so a little bit of glue around the outside and a squiggle in the middle for the white panel to go inside the card. So that's going to go like that. And a bone folder. Try and get it to lay flat. So I've got this on. Now I'm going to just simply glue it on because if I post this, I don't want to end up going too mad and making it thicker than it needs to be. So that's that. Now I think I'm going to put this on that side so you can see more of that flower. That's what I'm going to do. So I need some dimensionals. Don't need to go too mad with these. I just need the 3, I think. So I'm going to put it sort of in the middle of that. Like that. Now, bling. Got to have some bling. So I could put these on, as I said. And this is what they look like. So there are different sizes. So if I just put them on, you can see. So they've got those. That's that size, and then there's some little. No, is that the same size as that? Where is it? There is a tiny, tiny one. Ooh. Yep. And this is the problem. They're great, but you do need the patience, your patience, just to be able to put them on. So those are, they are, let's see, no, those are the same size. So those are the 3 different sizes. But I don't think they go too well, actually. So, because as I said, these are more flirty flamingo than petal pink. So I'm not going to use them, but I just wanted to show you what they look like. Could use, actually, I could, thinking about it, use the yellow. But I think that might just detract a bit too much from what's going on the top here. So we're not going to do that, but we are going to. So I think I'm just going to stick to some basic rhinestones. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool with the putty end. It's gone a bit dried. So to get the putty, it's putty one end, and you just simply twist this portion and the putty will start coming out. Sometimes if you twist too much, it will keep going. So I just tend to, if that happens, I just kind of tend to blunt the edge a bit, the end a bit. And then to pick up rhinestones or anything like that, you just simply touch and slide, and it just makes things so much simpler. Let's see. I know I always tell people not to think about putting these on. Just do go for it. Right, that's it. I'm very much less is more. I could put some more on, but I don't think I will. So that is my finished card, I think. So I've not used the paper, but as put my teeth in. As I've said before, just because it's in your kit doesn't mean you have to use it. So I've got that to use for another time. So that's my envelope that goes with this one. So that's my 4th card. So it's gone landscape. It's kind of a bit like the 3rd one because I wanted to show you how to actually do it. And as I said, you don't actually have to have these 3 all the same size. I quite like it with it's getting smaller. You could go the other way, or you could have equal. It's really up to you. And then, so that was the first one. That was the last one. And then that was the second one. So those are the 4 cards. I'm trying to think what else I've got to tell you. We all know that the new catalogue's gone live. We've got Card A Cuppa now is going to be in, next one's in June. I want to say next Thursday. What date is it today? It's the 17th. So I think it's the 21st actually, so that's not going to be a whole week's time. It's the closing date to order your kits for June. And what else is there? So we've got a kit together class on the 9th. If you're interested in coming, let me know. You can email me, Fiona at Oakville Crafts, and I think that's it. So next week it will be a stamping and creating day, and I just need to figure out what I'm going to do for that. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these cards form today and enjoyed watching me make that 4th card. The video, although it's recorded here to Facebook, will get uploaded to YouTube, and then I will also write the instruction, well not the instructions, but the cutting instructions I should say, so that you know what sizes I used and if you would want to replicate this. Because obviously the idea is that you can use the design with whatever paper, stamp set or etc. that you have to hand. Obviously if you would like to purchase the Irresistible Bloom Suite, then you can go online to oakvillecrafts.com and click on the shop button at the top, or you can email me at fiona@oakvillecrafts.com and let me know, and then I can get the order sorted out for you. So thank you for watching, and I will see you, well, I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.